Hello and welcome to the Made Creative Podcast, your monthly podcast on creativeness. My name is Sam.
I'm Connor, and we're joined here today by Ruben.
Hey guys.
Hey, Ruben is the lead guitarist for Made Creative Worship.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's cool. But first, I need to stop this podcast bus.
Oh, what's going on?
We need to stop it because I've had an audio guy just complaining about the fact that we do not give him a shout out.
Who?
I'm going to introduce you, don't you worry, but he's been complaining about this for every single video that we don't give him a shout out in our videos.
Wait, even though like that one time?
No, that one time is the only time that we didn't because I was planning to give him a shout on that video and he dogged the boys.
He dogged the boys.
He dogged the boys.
Not the boys.
His name is Kelvin. He is our audio guy. He's been doing awesome except for that one video.
Yeah, except for that, just that one time.
Just that one time, but we just want to give him a shout out. Say hi, Kelvin. We even gave him a mic this time.
Hey guys.
So we can start that podcast bus again.
Yeah, okay. All right, back to the podcast.
Back to the podcast.
So today we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to be talking about the song that was 2 weeks ago, Stronger With Him. And then we're also going to be talking to Ruben a little bit. So, Sam.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, Stronger With Him came out. First of all, though, we should say a big thank you. Our first song, Heavenly Love, that came out, ended up getting like 400 views in 3 weeks, which
is huge. That's awesome.
Which is crazy. Yeah. We thought we were going to get like 5.
Yeah.
That's not what happened.
Yep. Yeah, a lot more than 5, that's for sure.
A lot more than 5. So thank you so much if you watched it. We really do appreciate it.
Hugely appreciate it.
Yeah, it was more than we thought would ever happen, and it's really cool. So thank you so much for that. But Stronger With Him came out. It's the second song that's come out on the channel. Good song.
Fourth song we wrote, I think.
Fourth song we wrote. That's true. It was like the fourth song in like 2 weeks that we wrote it. It was a whirlwind.
Yeah, that's right. Because we just like every week we just did writing every week.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was really fun.
Good times.
Yeah,
it was good times. I feel like we started to kind of hit our groove a little bit.
Yeah, probably like that was probably the first one that really felt like, we're just like we're doing this really well and we're just like taking our time and we're like doing things right.
Yeah. And kind of gotten used to each other and how we write and all that sort of stuff. And like the song before that, which is a song called His Mercy, which hasn't come out yet, it basically took Titus 2 and then made it into a song.
Yeah.
And for this one, we kind of blended that with original sort of things on top of it. So the verses are very much from Psalm 46, but the chorus and the bridge kind of is our own sort of adding on top of it. Which, like, I forget about that bridge sometimes, but it's just fun, like, listing out all the things God does.
Yeah, it is. Really fun. I remember we're sitting there, we're like, we need to think of, like, good things God's done. And we just hit fire around. There's just so many.
But do you remember, like, we paused for a minute and we're like, we can't think of anything. Why can't we think of anything?
Yeah.
And it was like, and this, and this,
and
and
then
this.
It just
thank
the
goodness.
ball started rolling and we just couldn't stop. And we just like, okay, hold on. We can't say everything. We don't have time.
Yeah. But the reason we're doing this song is because Ruben chose it because he's doing the guitar tutorial for this week. So Ruben, why this song? Why did you choose this song?
So I guess to me it feels like Stronger With Him really just stands out amongst like all of them because it's kind of a step away from your like traditional worship music. It's kind of using very interesting like major 7th, minor 7th chords and things like that. Very interesting like strumming techniques and patterns and whatnot. And I think like it would be very challenging but also very fun and exciting to try
and still simple. I think most people could just pick up the guitar and play them. They're very close to the normal chords, but they just change the slightest bit.
If I can pick it up and play it on acoustic, anyone can because I'm real bad. So that's good. So Ruben, tell us a bit about yourself. You are the lead electric guitarist for Made Creative. Tell us a bit about yourself, what you do with your time, like all that sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm a full-time uni student. I study at WAPA. I'm currently doing a Bachelor of Secondary Education music major. And I've been playing guitar for quick math is about 6 years now. Yeah, for the first 2 years, I was probably self-taught, practicing at like school and things like that with my like guitar and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also started getting lessons in year 10 when I had to join. When I joined music specialist class. And yeah. Ever since then, I've been joining like bands at churches and youth groups and things like that, and helping out where I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And what are you kind of hoping to do with your degree at Whopper?
So I really just wanted to like the whole life plan is really just like stretch out into like all the musical branches. So first off was music education, hopefully get a stable job, and yeah, hopefully pay off all these student debt and things like that.
Yep.
Yeah, but hopefully later on down the line, once everything's settled and whatnot, I can start stretching out into other things. So like music composition, say performance or something like that, if I'm good enough on the guitar.
Yep.
And yeah. And
Yeah,
then
nice. That's real cool, man. Do you want to say something or else?
Well, all I was going to say was Ruben, the way Ruben sort of got into the band is pretty interesting. If you want to share what sort of happened and the little short aftermath of that as well.
So it was actually on a night service at our church where Connor was doing a service performing Heavenly Love and Returning Hope. Yeah.
Which is probably going to be the song we play in...
It is going to be the song that we do next.
It is going to be the song that we're going to play in the next few weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, and after the service, Connor and Sam approached me and they were asking, hey, we are developing these songs, as you know, and we are looking to create a band to help flesh out these songs and add on some stuff. And I was like, yeah, I can help you out. I'll definitely come join that because I feel like it's an opportunity from God to come.
Absolutely, yeah, and amen.
And do you remember like how we showed you the songs?
Yeah, that was.
Oh man, actually so good. Like
man,
we just raced outside.
Yeah. So as soon as I said yes, you guys are just pretty much like, let's go straight to the car and just listen to everything. All right, we're gonna like plug it into like the aux cable.
We're like all jam packed into Sam's car. We're all listening to the songs.
Hearing these so bad quality demos of the songs. Halfway through working out how we can make the audio like this, the singing sound all right in those demos as well. Like the first couple were like all guitar.
Yeah, we didn't like because when we're doing the scratch tracks originally, we just recorded on our phones, that's what we had. So. But we just put it on the ground and then eventually thought maybe we should put it near the voice so you can actually hear it. We made it there eventually and we're working on it now.
But yeah, so we like jam pack into my small car and it's getting all like hot and bothered in there and we're listening to these songs.
Had to crack open the window a little
bit. Yeah, it did smell a little bit, I'm not going to lie. It was after a huge service. We were Yeah. No,
so,
that's cool.
That was really exciting.
That was a lot of fun.
That was good.
So, when you got asked and you heard the songs and you realized that you had to kind of come up with your own stuff in these songs because they're not songs that have been developed into a full band before, what has been some of the learning that you've had to do? What has been some of the challenges? Because in Whopper, I imagine you play a lot of covers, whereas this is a lot of more just this is original music. Yeah. We haven't composed it as a band, so like, what are some of the fun challenges and the things you've had to think through as part of learning how to do that?
So some of the key point about this is that these are originals. These aren't covers.
Yeah.
These are songs that don't have other parts. They don't have like a bass line or like a lead guitar or drums or keys or anything like that. That's like what we're adding onto it. So I guess like it was really like one of the first opportunities I've ever had to like really like flex my creative capabilities.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
That's like when we're playing covers and things like that, you already know like the riff and things like that.
Yeah.
You just gotta learn it. You just gotta play it. That's all. But with this, it's like you gotta make the riff, and you can. And like another thing that we learn is like being, I guess like being not only inventive and creative, but also being like courageous and like being able to actually like show people that this is my idea. Like don't hide back and like
Can I just say like
no, like you gotta express your ideas and whatnot.
Can I just say like it's been awesome to work with Ruben. It's been so much fun. Just like working on like he's an excellent guitarist and it's been really fun just to jam out with him and like play these songs and really develop the songs into something like full. So
yeah. And just out of interest, is there like any sort of fear when you're just you're having to suggest things and like
man.
come up with things, you know? Like, is there a bit of fear in that, or is it?
There is a bit of fear. It's like, I don't know, that kind of really sounds bad, but like,
But like,
then you like give it a try, and they're like, oh, it sounds really cool.
that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay, we'll do it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just like it's trial and error. You know, like we all get together, we come up with ideas, it's like, and we just throw things out there, and like whether we think they're a good idea or a bad idea, we always give them a try, see what they sound like, because you never know when like it's something that, you know, on like when you say it, it just sounds like this like really weird thing to do, but then like you play it and you're like, wow, that really works. And that's just been what it's been like.
And if it sounds like really, really weird, we could just call it jazz. It's fine.
Love jazz. Just clearing that up. Jazz is good. It's all right.
Jazz is great.
Jazz is great.
It's all jazz. All right. So, how does God play into the mix for you with, you know, creating these new songs, or even what you do at Whopper? How does God play into the mix for you?
So when it comes to like playing worship music and things like that, and being in a worship band, it really boils down for me to two things. It comes to like intention and dedication. So like it's for me, it's kind of getting into that like mentality that's like I'm intending to use these God-given talents to create, to play, and to perform like these worship songs, and that's where the dedication comes in. Like, what am I doing this for? I'm doing this for you know, performing for, not for the people, like it's for God. You know, this is for this is for Him.
Yeah. So like it's like when for me, I know when I was starting doing getting up on stage and playing at church and like leading the congregation, I was very hesitant, I guess. I was like, I'm just going to play the song how it is, and because I was like, you know, I was like, I'm here to lead the, you know, here to lead the church, not to like sort of, I guess in a way I was kind of denying myself the right to worship God because I had to lead the other church, to lead the church, sorry. And then one day I was like, no, I'm just gonna get on stage and I'm just gonna worship God. And I just did things differently. I sang the octave up, and I put hammer-ons, and I did things. I played around with the music, and I just and like that service, I got down, and one of the men in the church came up to me afterwards and said, "Thank you so much for just getting up there and worshiping, because when you do that, you subconsciously give everyone else in the congregation permission to do the same, to let go of that, and that you know, like you don't have to be shy because you're worshiping God." You don't have to be afraid of what the person next to you is going to think of your singing voice or something like that. You know, like you're singing to God. You're not singing to them. It's you're praising God. You're praising and worshiping God. And that, to me, that's, you know, it really stuck out. I thought it was super profound. Just the words that he shared. So.
Yeah, I love worship, and I mean worship in a fuller sense than just music.
Yeah, of course.
But I love worship because it allows this space of not just singing or doing things that we know about God, like giving Him glory, but also experiencing that at the same time, and it kind of melds them together in this beautiful harmony of, you know, it's more than just what we know, it's what we are here to be a part of, to experience. And I think that's where the best worship comes from, is that it's a moment in time that everyone stops, puts it all aside, and just says, we're here to experience what you're doing now and what we know is true. So very cool. Ruben, we forgot to ask this at the start. How did we all meet each other? Because
you guys met in a crazy way.
Yeah. So Sam and I met at a youth conference. Actually, we were performing at our church, kind of a nice church, and Sam and I were on the band together. He was on bass, I was on electric guitar. It's kind of crazy because we weren't really expecting too big an outcome of like people and things like that. And like we were expecting maybe for 150, 200 people. And like we're practicing away. We're like, we're going to be fine. There's not that many people. We're very, very confident and things like that. Next thing you know, like there's like 400, almost 500 people at the show. We're like walking up to the stage and like, okay, this is on God now. Okay, I hope he's a good guitarist.
Tell you what, you become friends real quick when there's 400 people watching you on stage and you're sweating in the hands and you're like, this is not what I expected. Like you become mates real quick. Like halfway through, you look at me like, this is going awesome. And I'm like, I know, but
Yeah, dude, we were in the moment. That was so much fun. Yeah.
It was fun. How did you guys meet as well? Was it just?
I think we just met through church, really. We incidentally went to the same school. But yeah, I think we probably just met through church, just seeing each other like around the church and whatever. Started hanging out. So yeah.
Nice. I just want to pivot a bit and talk about something else for a little bit. I have a different perspective on this than you guys, but we're going through a weird time at the moment, right? Like churches are having to learn how to either live stream or record their services, and there's a whole lot of challenges in that, and it's a bit crazy. And at the same time as all that's going on, we started this channel, and we've also had to learn a lot of stuff as well. Yeah. What's it been like for you guys as musicians in churches, kind of learning how to do the recording process? Because you guys are both recording, not live streaming your services, right?
Yeah, just recording it, yeah.
What's it like going through that process at church and having to figure everything out on the fly and all of that? And how can you be creative in that space still when you're learning? Yeah,
well, I guess there's a lot of pressure to get something out there immediately. And that's pretty hard. That's pretty hectic.
There's definitely a lot of learning involved.
Yeah, so much learning involved. It's you all of a sudden you can't have church, so you have to have another method of reaching out to your congregation. And yeah, it's just been really interesting to try and obviously learn all that quickly and then get something out that's still pretty good. And obviously trying to break the idea that we're not pretending that everyone can be at church. So we just got to be like, hey guys, this is church, but it's going to be different. And a lot of people will probably aren't accustomed to change like that so rapidly. But I think considering the circumstances, I think people will understand.
Yeah. What about you, Ruben? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's just really being able to get into it like a team and just everyone having the same standing point. It's okay, this is a new thing for all of us. You know, it's we're not really used to all of this, but we'll work through it together. Yeah, we'll take this step by step, and just hopefully produce the best we can.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I've had a weird perspective. It was very strange in terms of I was still working. I was finishing up in my pastoral role at a church when this all happened. And then, so I was leaving, so I wasn't a part of the services because I was leaving. And so I was watching what they were doing. And at the same time, we were starting to get ready with the channel as well. So still recording stuff. Yeah. And so I was watching and I was kind of what would I do in this situation? I was kind of in it in a pastoral sense, but I was also out of it because I was moving out. And it was kind of interesting to watch. What I found really interesting was I kind of said from the start, you should do the recording in a house and make it really intimate.
Yeah.
And not pretend it's not put it so that you just see empty space in a church, but just make it this intimate worship space. What was really interesting about that is I said that, and then one of the bigger churches here in Perth, that's exactly what they did for their first live stream, and it was really good.
Yeah, cool.
It was really, really good. But I just found it interesting because when we started this channel, we asked a lot of questions.
Oh yeah, I was calling my friends in doing digital media and people in cinematography and hey man, how do you set up a camera? I didn't know anything.
Yeah, we both didn't. We didn't know how to edit, nothing like that.
And fortunately, we've sort of been able to fall back on the advice of friends and
But one thing we discovered real quick was that you don't need a lot. You just need to be able to do well with what you've got.
Yeah, that's right.
And so if we were to take a snapshot of this setup that we have here right now, you'd be like, oh, those are some lights from Bunnings and shower curtains and you're not using a lot of stuff, but you can make a certain quality.
Yeah, that's right.
I think for me that really goes into the ethos that I really want, which is that and some pastors I really respect talk about this. They talk about going for excellence, not just participation.
Yeah, sure.
And that we want to give our best to God, which is kind of what you were saying before. That we want to give our best to God, not just whatever we can.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's been weird watching churches work through that.
Yeah.
You can kind of see where the two have that different philosophy, like where churches have that different philosophy.
Yeah, and you can kind of like almost see the change as well. Like you can see
Yeah.
some churches are like, they start off and like they just couldn't achieve what they tried to go for, so then they've changed
Yes.
to change their way to back to
Absolutely.
the other one and just like put something out. But
Yeah.
then you got the other one where they've sort of scrambled to get something out, and they've just been like, kind of like the church has been like, no, we can do this better.
Yes.
And then they've just really improved on it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's been really cool to see the transformations of these different churches.
Yes.
I think one thing that's interesting is because these are like all like recorded, you can kind of like have a look at other churches.
Yeah,
it
you
makes
can.
it really easy just to go
You
to other
can.
churches and check
you
them out.
can definitely
and stuff,
like check that stuff out, and it's great. But I found it interesting because we've learnt new ways how to be creative doing this channel.
Yeah.
And doing all this sort of process. And I just wonder what that experience is on the other side in churches, whether that feels like that or whether it just feels like, oh my gosh, we're so far behind the 8 ball.
Yeah,
what are we
okay.
doing? Like, has that been, where have you kind of guys felt in that?
I think sometimes, definitely, especially at the start, it felt very behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
You're just like, you had to provide a service for people immediately.
Kind of just throw it into the deep end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like going back, obviously I would be like, okay, maybe we shouldn't do it this way. We should do it this way. I think it's very easy to fall into the trap of biting off more than you can chew.
Yeah.
So you sort of have to start off with something very simple and then build on that is the best way to sort of go
for
around
sure.
it.
Definitely.
I think if there was one thing that I would tell any church to do, it's the one thing I would do. It's record your audio separately.
Yeah.
Record it separately and sync it up with the video.
Yeah.
Because someone said to me once, you can watch a video that's got bad quality video. Like you can make do with that. But if the audio is bad,
Just
you
awful.
can't watch it. You just can't.
It's just like, something. It's just like you just like, you want to watch it. Even like you could be the greatest thing ever that you really want to watch, but it's just so painful.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So like that is like one thing I'd say to churches is like record your audio separately and sync it up so that it sounds nice.
Yeah.
Like that's the big thing.
And I think it's relatively simple to do.
Yeah,
So
it's not super hard.
It's not too hard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, cool. Awesome. Well, Ruben, thanks so much for joining us today.
yeah,
Thank
it's
you for having
been
me.
very awesome to have you on here.
Yes. We're looking forward to continuing to do things and work towards an album. That's super cool to do.
And if you guys out there want to drop a comment, feel free to ask Ruben a question, or you can ask Sam or I a little question, and maybe we might talk back to you. If you guys want, you guys want to hear some advice of what exactly we've started with and how we've got to the point we are in terms of our like recording and filming stuff. Just let us know, and we might be able to help out.
For sure. Cool. Well, you can follow us on all sorts of social media platforms. Make Creative is a Facebook page on Facebook. We have an Instagram account, which is Make Creative Worship, and we have a Twitter, which is Make Creative 3, because we couldn't get Make Creative 2. But you can follow us on all of those. We show behind-the-scenes photos and all sorts of things on top of telling you when the next video comes out. If you haven't already, subscribe.
Yeah, please subscribe. It's really it's massive. It helps us. It really helps support us, and we had 400 people watch Heavenly Love as of this moment, and that's exciting. But now I want to see 800.
Never content.
I'm never content. I was just one I just like the Sam off camera. Sam was sort of chatting that when he was doing a sermon, he sort of talked to we'd be doing a message in front of 90 people or whatever, and like so over a month, he'd get to under 400, and we released one video and we got to 400. Just like the reach, and like God's hand, is just really just reaching out and like touching these people in their homes. So
thanks for watching, guys. My name's Sam.
I am Connor,
and this is Ruben, and we're Make Creative. Have a great week.
see you later.
Bye.